If you are buying or selling a home in the Saratoga Springs or Capital Region anytime in the next couple months here, then you're going to want to watch this video because you're not going to want to leave money out on the table. You want to make sure you're getting fair value for the property that you're selling here. We're going to cover those numbers and everything in the market report that we're going to be doing right here today. And this is going to be covering July 2025 numbers. I do a monthly report, so check in next month again to see what has changed in the market and what's going on there. But my name is Chris McMahon. I'm a local real estate agent here in the Capital Region, and I've been involved in real estate as an investor and a real estate agent more recently for over 20 years now. So we're going to be taking some of the knowledge, we're going to be kind of applying it to what we got going on with the numbers and giving you guys some ideas here. And if you are buying or selling here in the area and you look for somewhere, I've got some resources for you down in the description. I've got a buyer's guide. I've also got a free consultation to get a home evaluation if you're looking to sell, and some other great information down there. So check down below in the description and help yourself to some of those free resources that I have down there. And again, if you have any questions real estate related that I can help you out with, the best way to get a hold of me, you can reach out. My contact information is down there. Best way to hold of me, call or text my cell phone. That's the fastest way you're going to get me, but feel free to reach out to me with any of those questions that you may have real estate related that I can help you out with. But as of right now, we're going to jump into this video and we're going to be covering the market. And the first thing I want to cover, as always, is I'm going to dive into right here the market in general. Okay. And I'm going to pull out there because right now I just want to look at the active and the new listings and see what we got with this. Now, again, this is covering the Capital Region in general. Then I'm going to break it down to some specific areas there that I go through and go and check all those areas out as well. But right now, let's just see what we got that's in our global MLS area. And right now, as we can see, this blue line here is our active listings. So our active listings, again, for 1, 2, 3, 4, for the fourth straight month in a row, has increased. So we're at 2,362 listings right now, which is pretty solid. We're kind of still increasing. Last year we peaked over here at about 2,400, so we're getting close to where we were last year as far as that peak number as a number of active listings. But we are seeing a slight decline over here in our new listings. It was at 1,500, now it's just about 1,466 for our new listings. So a slight decline in those new listings coming out there, but the overall number of listings has increased. So kind of maybe a little bit indication that some properties are hanging out on the market a little bit longer. So for our buyers out there, the numbers are going up. So the options for you out there is definitely increasing. And it looks like things are kind of staying out there a little bit longer too as well. So listing prices are going up though. So we're seeing right here, we had a jump. The average sales price was 406. July, it jumped to 417. So it kind of jumped up about $10,000 as far as the average. The median jumped up as well. We are seeing an increase in the median sales price. So sellers, those home prices, they are increasing as we're seeing by the numbers right here. And they've been increasing for a while now. It looks like we've had a steady increase since back here in March. Since then, it's gradually gone up. We are on a 12-month high, as we can see that quite a bit higher, because our peak over here was back in September of 04 or 24, where we were at 391, and we've surpassed that about 2.5 months ago, it looks like, and it's still increasing. So we're going there. So home sellers, something to think about. You're on the fence about whether you're going to sell that home. Well, if you're looking to get top dollar, now might be a good time because the prices are going up and they're higher than they've been in the past 12 months. So maybe something to consider if you want evaluation of what you could get on your market and some tips what you could do to increase the value and sell it faster. Again, my contact information will reach out to me. I can do that. It's no obligation, but I just come over and I take care of that and I give you some idea of what you could be looking at and what the valuation of your home is. All right, so absorption rate in months is going up. We're at 2.72, so almost 2 3/4. And again, that's been on a steady incline since March of this year as well. And the list to sold ratio did drop down a little bit. So right now we're still just a hair over 100% at 100.4 from that sold to list ratio. In days on the market, we had a steep decline here for a while as far as days on the market, down to 23 days. It peaked back here in looks like February at about 40 days, but it's pretty much leveled off in the last from June and July at about 23 days. So we're looking at about 3 weeks generally on the market right there. stuff. And let's come down here. Where is the highest price point? Where are most of these things going now? Remember, if you've seen my videos in the past, you know some of these numbers are, multiples of 50,000 and then jumps to 100,000 and then you get the 500 and everything above that. So right here, right now, it looks like just barely our 200 range because we got to add these two numbers again. Sitting at 250. And that 300 range is at 224. So that 2 to 300 range is where we're seeing the majority of the sales right now. So if your home is evaluated in that area, it seems to be selling, and that's where a lot of people are buying. Okay. Now, not to say if your home is evaluated higher than that, it's not selling. It, of course, is, and it always will. But we're looking at 143 right now in that 400 range, and then 250. And again, that's incorporating everything that's 500,000 or plus. It gets into $1 million, everything like that. So that's what we're looking at. So that 2 to 300 range is where the majority of sales are taking place in the capital region right now. So now we're going to go through and we're going to check out some of the areas that I like to cover here. And we're going to start off with Saratoga Springs, and we're going to see what those numbers are looking like. Again, we got an increase in the number of active listings. We got 176 active listings, up from 157 last month. And then new listings did increase. So it had a couple months in Saratoga where it dropped, but now there's some new listings coming out. Could be a lot of people listing their market for the Saratoga racetrack meet. So that you see that a lot in that area. They know a lot of people coming into town. Some of them may want to buy a house, a nice little vacation spot or something like that. And so we're seeing an increase in the number of listings in Saratoga, 79 right now. The listing prices did drop down here, so it's 741,000. So still a pretty healthy number in Saratoga Springs, which we know. Again, if you watch my videos in the past, you know that this is probably, or isn't probably, is definitely the highest price point in the capital region we got right here. And the median sales price did increase to 680. The absorption rate jumped up. We're looking at about just under 4.5 months for the absorption rate in Saratoga. And that sold to list ratio, just under 99.9. You don't get any closer to 100% than not getting it, not being 100 than you got right there. But did go up a little bit. Days on the market decreased to 19 days, so it's below the average than the rest of the capital region. So increase in some of those new listings, increase in total listings, days on the market dropping. Looks like people are buying in Saratoga Springs. So again, sellers, keep that in mind if you're thinking of buying or selling your home there. So where they are, of course, this is going to be no surprise to anybody. 43 of the sales last month were over 500,000. We had 7 in the 300 range, 7 in the 400 range, and then less than that we had 2. Okay, for our highest price, with an average and medium sales price being, that 700,000-800,000 range. It's not surprising that the majority of sales are over 500,000 for Saratoga. So let's come on over here. And let's check the next one that we're going to look at here. So we got Saratoga. Let's go to Clifton Park. We're going to go just north to Clifton Park, and we're going to check out these numbers. All right, so new listings, pretty steep decline in the new listings from 63 down to 47. But the number of active listings stayed even at 47. So they're meeting right there at 47 with that. Listing prices took a pretty steep drop here as well, down to 488 when it peaked, because its 12-month peak was back in June at 554. Now we're dropping down into the 400s for that. So the median sales price came down as well. Not a big shocker. It's following that trend that we're seeing with the average sales price. But the absorption rate is increasing. We're at about a month and a half for the absorption rate in Clifton Park, and list to sold ratio down to 103. So it peaked over here in June. So buyers, here we go. Clifton Park area could be a decent spot for you. Looks like there's maybe a bit of a market because they peaked over here in June. Looks like a little bit of a market correction. Prices are coming down a little bit over there. So if that's an area that you're big on, something to keep an eye on. Maybe the prices aren't quite where you're looking to spend right now, but if this trend follows through the next couple months, maybe as we get closer to the winter months or something like that, those prices will come down to a spot where maybe it's worth taking a look at a few homes in the capital, in Clifton Park here. Days on the market, staying about the same at 10. So a week and a half, they've got days on the market right there. And where is the hot spot in Clifton Park? Right now, 500 plus. Okay, that 226 in the 500 plus range, 13 in 300s. 9 in the 200s, and we got 9 in the 400s there. So again, the 500 plus range in Clifton Park is the hot spot for that one. Moving on to the next one, we're going to check out Albany, our capital. And we're seeing here active listings kind of about level. 99 down to 98. Ruin house isn't really that big of a difference. New listings did drop, came down 10, down to 80. So a little bit of a decline in the new listings. The average prices came down a little bit at 321 where it was 323. So down a little bit, yes, but roughly, staying steady for the most part. Medium sales price did come down. Absorption rate stayed flat, and they're sitting at a month and a half of absorption rate in there. And the sold to list ratio came down as well, though it's still over 100% at just under 103% for that sold to list ratio. And days on the market increased slightly. They're sitting at 2 weeks as well. So property's moving pretty good in there. They're not sitting on the market for all that long before they're going under contract. And coming down, where is the hot spot right there? That 300 range. Yeah, 300 range right here has got 24 listings that sold. That 200 range is close behind with 19, so only 5 below right there. So more affordable than Clifton Park, more affordable than Saratoga Springs in that area right there. So buyers, it's a good spot. And it looks like, following a little bit of that trend where the prices are staying roughly steady, maybe starting to come down a little bit too. But again, something to keep an eye on and follow as we're going through the next couple months. Where they are. So that is Albany. Let's go through here and check us here. We're going to come into Ballston Spa and check out what we got going on in Ballston Spa. So increased active listings once again rose this month from 43 to 48, getting a 12-month low, which was back in March, and it's been on the increase ever since. But it's the highest it's been, again, in the last 12 months. So we're not seeing... And it's been past that point for a couple months now, and it's on the rise. But the number of new listings did decrease down to 29 new listings right there. We had a steep decline in the price from May to June. Now it's back on the rise over here. So it's at about 454 is the average sales price on that one. 450 is the median sales price. So they're roughly about the same, those two numbers. But again, both of them are on the incline on that side. So something to keep an eye on. Absorption rate on the rise again. They're sitting at 2.9, so almost 3 months. That list sold ratio is up at 104.5% over again there. And days on the market under a week, 5.7. So that's a hot area right here. It was days on the market on average is sitting in less than a week in Ballston Spa. So that's something, you need your home sold quick and you're in Ballston Spa. Probably can be done. Priced right, it can definitely be done. And we're getting a pretty good price point, too. We got 8 over 500,000, 8 in that 400 range, and 6 in the 300 range as far as where those numbers are going in there. And Ballston Spa. So we got Ballston Spa coming up. We're going to hit Queensbury, wrap it up with Glens Falls. Let's get rid of that one right there. Okay, so active listings, 44, dropped down to 41, so it did come down slightly, but the new listings stayed even at 32. Listing prices increased. So it peaked over here in May. Big correction over here for June, but now starting to come back up again. So sitting at 470. Medium sales price went up as well. Absorption rate in months is down 1.89 months. We got it peaked back over here in November of last year at 2.6 months. So it was just over 2 months last month. So we're seeing that come down a little bit. That list to sold ratio pretty high over here as well, 104.5%. So what they're listing for and what they're getting for is more. So they tend to be getting more than what they list for in there. So maybe get some multiple offers, some competition for properties in Queensbury area, maybe while we're seeing that high number over here. Days on the market is on the rise right here. We're sitting at 28 days, so almost a month they're sitting on the market right there. And if we come down here, we see where's the price point here. So we got 8 sold in that 500 plus range, 5 in the 400 range. We got 5 in the 200 range and 2 in the 300 range right here. So that's where the price range. So higher price points over there, a number in the above 500 range in that spot. So let's wrap this up. We're going to cover Glens Falls really quick. And we'll see. All right. So for the second straight month, it's on the decline with new listings. So we're down to 9. Now, this is kind of a small area, the Glens Falls spot, but I do like to cover it. And then we got right here, active listings staying level at 5 active listings. Listing prices have dropped down a little bit. So the listing price is coming in at about 274. So this is one of the reasons why I like to cover this area. I think Glens Falls is a great up and coming area, especially for young families and stuff like that. And it's much more affordable. It's close to 87. So if you're commuting to work, it's easy to get there. And their downtown area, they're really revitalizing it. And there's a lot going on in that area. So it's really on the up and up. So I do like to cover that area, and it's very affordable as far as compared to some of the areas that we look at here. And we come down here, absorption rate dropped a little bit. They're at less, 0.36 months. They don't have a lot of inventory, so that's one thing to keep in mind. But still, it looks like it's going kind of fast. So let's just skip down here. I got to check days on the market right here. Yeah, so they're sitting at about a week and a half on the market there for properties. And the list to sold ratio is at 98.7. Took a pretty steep drop from the 103.5 that it was a month ago. And coming down here, where is this price point where they're selling? This 200 range. You can see 200 to 300 range right there. 6 of them are sold. 2 sold in the 300 range right here. Nothing above that. So we can see. So all that 200 to 300 range, and the majority in that 200 area right there. So, I mean, if that's where your budget is bringing you in that 200 to 300 range right there, really keep Glens Falls in mind, because I think you can't go wrong, because I think those property values are we're going to see some of the biggest increases in property values over the next couple of years here in that area, just because of the work and the revitalization and that's going in to Glens Falls right now. But you can get in there, if it's starter home for you, whatever, stay 4 or 5 years, build equity in that property, sell it, take that equity, move into your next home. Maybe as your family grows like that, move into your next property and accommodate that growing family. So that's what we got for the areas right there. Again, there's an area on here that I can't cover everything. So if there's an area on here that I wasn't able to cover and you're interested in taking a look at it, again, my contact information is below. Don't forget those resources. I've got those down there to check out. But my contact information below. Reach out, get a hold of me. I can cover that area. I can send you those numbers. I can answer any of those questions, but I got to know what you're looking for. If I don't know what you're looking for, I can't answer those questions for you. So reach out, get a hold of me, call, text, email, whatever's the easiest thing for you. I'll get that out to you. I can do your own personal video and shoot that right out to you. We can have a conversation and see what that market is doing for you. But anyway, if you found some value in this, please click subscribe, because I do monthly market reports. I also have other videos about the area that I want to get out there, and you shouldn't miss. It's all great information. Not all real estate related too. Some of it is just covering the area and talking about the different amenities and the different things that are going on there. So local businesses, stuff like that. But subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.